You don't wake up one day and just know your wife is cheating. It starts small. The kind of things you brush off because you love someone, because the alternative is too painful to even consider. For me, it started with the red dress. She hadn't worn it in years. Not since our 10th anniversary dinner. I remember that night clearly. She looked incredible, and I couldn't keep my hands off her. We laughed, we danced. She told me I was still the only man who made her feel that way. And now, 5 years later, I saw her pull it from the back of the closet on a random Thursday. "What's the occasion?" I asked, smiling. Angela glanced over her shoulder. "Work dinner. Just trying to look presentable." A work dinner. I wanted to believe that. I did. But something about the way she said it, too casual, too rehearsed, stuck with me. She left the house at Kuis, visitoista. Lipstick, perfect. Hair curled. Heels clicking down the steps like she was heading to seduce, not to socialize. I stood by the window after she pulled away and watched the taillights vanish. My stomach felt hollow. The next morning, I asked her how the dinner went. She shrugged. "Fine. A little boring, honestly. You know how these corporate things are. No details, no stories." Angela always had stories. That was the first crack. A few weeks later, I noticed her phone habits changed. She used to leave it on the counter, face up, buzzing freely. Now it was always face down, on silent, glued to her hip like a secret. One night, I walked into the kitchen, and she was texting, fingers moving fast. When she saw me, she locked the screen without missing a beat. "Everything okay?" I asked. "Just a group chat. Emily's planning a baby shower." Her tone was light, but her body was stiff. Another crack. Then came the perfume. It was new, strong, floral with a sharp, sweet finish, the kind she used to wear when we were dating. The kind she stopped wearing once we got married and settled in. I noticed it one night when I kissed her neck. "You smell different," I murmured. She smiled. "Do I?" Just trying something new. But it wasn't new. It was old. Something she knew men liked. By now, my head was spinning with possibilities. But I didn't want to accuse her. What if I was wrong? What if I was being paranoid, overthinking, insecure? So, I started paying attention. She was colder in bed. Not distant, just disengaged. Like she was present, but not with me. When we did make love, it felt mechanical, not passionless, but scripted. She touched me the same way every time, like she was mimicking the motions of a wife who still cared. One night, I reached for her, and she flinched. "Tired," she whispered, rolling away. Then came the phone call. I was working late in the garage when her phone rang inside. She'd left it charging in the kitchen. I didn't mean to look, but the name lit up the screen. Just the letter. Nothing else. Then it rang again, 10 minutes later. She came downstairs eventually, saw me standing near the phone, and her face changed, just for a split second. "Someone's trying to reach you," I said calmly. "Oh, that's Melissa. From work." Melissa. Right. Another crack. The breaking point came when she said she had a weekend conference. Out of town. Left Friday morning, kissed my cheek, bags packed, and said, "Don't wait up." I waited anyway. That night, something in me finally snapped. I drove downtown, heart racing. No clear plan, just gut instinct. I parked outside the Hilton, same place she mentioned once months ago for a work gala. I waited an hour. Then I saw her, walking out of the revolving doors in that same red dress, hair a little messy, makeup slightly faded. laughing. On his arm was a man I didn't recognize. Younger, tansuit, too confident. They kissed. I sat there, gripping the steering wheel until my knuckles went white. Not crying, not yelling, just processing. I drove home. I didn't sleep that night. I didn't drink, didn't rage, didn't break anything. I made a list instead. Every inconsistency, every excuse, every time she lied to my face while I was still bringing her coffee in the mornings. I wasn't going to lose control. I was going to end this on my terms. 2 days later, she walked back through the front door like nothing happened. "Hey, Bobby," she said, setting her suitcase down. "God, I'm exhausted." I nodded from the living room. "Conference, go well." She smiled. "Yeah, productive. I'll tell you about it later." "Great," I said. "Hey, quick question. When's Melissa's birthday again?" Her smile twitched. "What?" "You know, Melissa, the one from work, the one you're always texting." Her eyes darted for a second, just a flicker. Oh, I think it's in June." She told me it's in December. Silence. I stood up, calmly. "You've been lying to me, Angela, for months. I gave you every chance to be honest." She scoffed. "What the hell are you talking about?" I picked up the small manila envelope off the coffee table and handed it to her. Inside, photos, time-stamped, her, Marcus, the hotel, room number, dates, receipts. She went pale. I spoke slowly, each word chosen like a blade. "I don't want apologies. I don't want explanations. I just want you gone. David." "No. You made this choice, Angela. Over and over again. I just finally stopped pretending I couldn't see it." She left 3 hours later. No tears, no fight, just silence. The next morning, I made coffee for one. The house felt bigger, colder, but honest, finally. You don't stop loving someone overnight. But sometimes, the pain of staying is worse than the pain of letting go.